Lesson 82, Solving Multi-Step Compound Inequalities. Example 1 says to solve and graph each inequality. The great thing about this lesson is that you already know all the rules for it. We're just having to do multi-step instead of one or two step. Okay. So on this one, it wants us to solve and graph each inequality. So I'm going to start by getting x by itself on this first one. To do that, I have to add 6 to both sides. So I get 5x is less than 10. Then I need to divide by 5 on both sides. So I get x is less than 2. When I graph this, 2 is the point that I'm talking about. It does not have the equal sign, so it's going to be open. And if I make my sign into an arrow, it says to shade to the left. Okay. On this one, I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to start by moving that 9. So I have 3x is greater than 9. To get x by itself, I have to divide by 3 on both sides. So I have x is greater than 3. So again, I'm talking about 3. It does not have the equal sign, so it's going to be open. If I change my sign into an arrow, it points to the right, so I shade to the right. On B, on this one, they've written it as one big compound inequality. I'm still trying to get x by itself. X is in the middle here. So I'm going to start by combining those like terms. So I'm going to bring down my negative 9 is less than. I'm going to put those two things together. I get 7x minus 6 is less than or equal to 8. So now I'm wanting to get x by itself. So I have to add this 6, which I have to do to every side. So I'm going to add 6 here, add 6 here. So those will cancel. Negative 9 plus 6 is 3, negative 3, excuse me, which is less than or equal to 7x, which is less than or equal to 14. Last step to getting x by itself will be to divide by 7 on every side. Okay. So I get that negative 3/7 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 2. Now when I graph this one, I'm going to have to start by rewriting the left side of it so that my variable's on the left side so that I don't make a mistake on my graph. So I'm going to flip that whole thing around. So x comes to the left, I flip my sign so that it still opens to the x, and then my negative 3/7 is there. So the point I'm talking about is negative 3/7, which is going to fall about here. And it's going to be closed because it has the equal sign, and it says I should shade to the right. So I'm shading this direction. The other one that I'm talking about is 2. Okay, it also has the equal sign, so I'm going to close it. The sign says I need to shade to the left, so I shade to the left. I didn't have to rewrite this one because if I look at it, x is already on the left-hand side, and that's where I want it to be. So that is my final answer. Same thing here. I'm trying to get x by itself, so I need to simplify everything in the middle first. So I'm going to start by distributing the 2. I have negative 10 is less than or equal to 12x minus 8 is less than, that's a less than sign, or equal to 64. Okay, I multiplied to get these two. To get x by itself, I'm going to add 8 to both sides to start with, or to all sides to start with. So I have negative 2 is less than or equal to 12x, which is less than or equal to 72. To get x by itself, I need to divide by 12 on all sides, which is going to leave me with a negative 1/6 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 6. Final answer. On B, we're doing the same thing, except I have to solve both inequalities here. So I'm trying to get b by itself. I'm going to start by adding 32 to both sides. So I get a positive 16 is greater than or equal to negative 8b. To get b by itself, I must divide by negative 8 on both sides. So those will cancel, leaving me with b here. Bring my sign. Whoops, made a mistake there. Whenever I divide by a negative, make sure that we always flip that sign. Anytime I multiply or divide by a negative, the sign has to flip. So instead of it being greater than, it will become a less than sign. 16 divided by negative 8 is a negative 2. Or, on the other side, I have to distribute that negative 3, so I end up with negative 15. Negative 3 times negative b is a positive 3b. Is greater than or equal to 24. To get b by itself, I add 15 to both sides. So I get 3b is greater than or equal to 39. Divide by 3 on both sides. So I get that b is greater than or equal to 13. Final answer. On example 3, it says each of the 5 members of the Murillo family has a pet guinea pig. The 4 of the guinea pigs weigh 30, 31, 33, and 34 respectively. What could the weight of the 5th guinea pig be if the average weight of all 5 is between 30 and 35 ounces? So first of all, if I was just talking about their weight being between 30 and 35, I would say that 30 is less than x, which is less than 35. Okay, it says it's between these two. It doesn't say that it's equal to it. All right, but x in this case is the average weight, of the 5 pigs. Well, if I find the average weight of 5 pigs, the way for me to do that would be by taking pig 1 plus pig 2, pig 3, pig 4, and pig 5, their weights, and dividing them by 5. I hope that you all agree with that. Well, I know what the first 4 weigh, so I'm just going to plug those in for here. So I have that 30 plus 31 plus 33 plus 34 plus the 5th pig is divided by 5. Okay, is going to get me my x here. So if I add these together, this gets me a 61, this gets me a 67. So I get 128 plus p over 5 is going to give me the average. This is what I have to plug in here. So I have 30 is less than this amount, which is the 128, plus the 5th pig, that's a p, over 5, is less than 35. So on that, let's see what it actually asks for. So it says, what could the weight of the 5th pig be? You have to simplify this on your own paper. So I hope that you've taken good notes. I'll see you in class tomorrow. Have a good night.